What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video of the Point After Podcast. Today we're going to be talking about Mac Jones and where he will find himself in the NFL. This is a guy who last season had to live up to such high expectations, having to replace Tua Tagovailoa, arguably the best quarterback in Alabama history when it comes to just raw talent, pure skill, the way he could dissect defenses, put the ball where it needs to be, and things of that nature. So, like I said, Mac Jones had to live up to this hype and to this expectations. A lot of people thought that Bryce Young would come in and possibly beat him out for the starting spot headed into 2020, but Mac Jones shut us all up. He ends up finishing with a 94.9 grade by PFF on third down, which is unheard of. That's 95% basically efficient on third down. That means he did not make negative plays. You barely saw him throw the ball with what they consider turnover-worthy throws. He took care of the ball. He put the ball where it needed to be. He hit his checkdowns, which is something that Tua developed in his second year. Finished with a 77.4 completion percentage, which is best in the FBS, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe Trevor Lawrence is up there, but I don't think so. 4,500 yards exactly, 41 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. That means he played 13 games and threw 1 interception every 3 games. Barely. It's unheard of. It's unreal. Mac Jones lived up to the hype, and his draft stock, just like Joe Burrow's last year, skyrocketed. This is a guy who probably going into the season was 5th, 6th round talent. Balls out, automatically a first round pick. Now the question is, which is what we're going to talk about today, where does Mac Jones land? I'm going to pull up the draft stock or the draft order here. I don't think I'll be able to get it before you guys can see it, but just in case, we have Jaguars at 1. Obviously, they're going Trevor Lawrence. Zach Wilson and or Justin Fields will go to number 2, possibly to the Jets, unless something happens with Deshaun Watson. I'm recording this video on March 2nd, so a lot can still happen with free agency opening up in a couple weeks. And then, trades are going to start happening closer to draft time and things like that, too, obviously. We actually put out a full mock draft video. If you guys want to check that out, if that interests you, I'll link it in the description below. And then I also put something up here to the top of your screen that you guys can see throughout the video and click on it there, too. But again, the Falcons at 4, that's the team that could possibly take a quarterback. I don't think they will, just because I think with a new GM, a new head coach, things like that, I think they're going to give Matt Ryan at least a year to kind of see how he does in the system and then go from there. Bengals don't need one. Eagles don't need one. Lions don't need one. Panthers need one, but it's like Tua said the other day, Mac Jones is a more mobile Tom Brady. He's not going to fit that Matt Rule offensive style that we saw at Baylor and then last year with Teddy Bridgewater. The Broncos need one. Again, I don't think they're going to fit Mac Jones there. I think they go more Trey Lance maybe. Cowboys, Giants, San Francisco, the first team who I think may end up taking Mac Jones strictly for the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo is so injury prone. He was their guy. He's been injury prone in the last 2 or 3 years. They finished 21st in passing or points per game, 13th in passing yards, and 20th in passing touchdowns last season. Not bad. Obviously, I just think that is a possible position where you could see Mac Jones go at number 12. Next is number 15 to New England, who needs a quarterback more than anything on that roster. There's 2 things I see happening. One, New England trades up to get Mac Jones so that they don't end up with taking Kyle Trask or somebody like that in the later rounds. Or they don't take a quarterback at all. They go with Jarrett Stidham, maybe get Ryan Fitzpatrick to come in for a year, absolutely tank, and then take Sam Howell or Tyler Show, somebody like that, at the beginning of the draft next year with their top 5 pick that they're going to have, because the rest of that roster is not that great either. New England last year was 27th in points per game, 30th in passing yards, and 32nd in passing touchdowns. Awful, atrocious. They need a quarterback. A lot of people think Mac Jones is going to New England, but we'll see how that plays out. Another place I see potentially Mac Jones going is the 17th pick to Las Vegas. Now, I think they go Nick Bolton from Missouri. at linebacker, but there is a possibility they could take Mac Jones here. I think he's a good backup to Derek Carr. Derek Carr's not going to be in Las Vegas for forever. I think we all know that. They had really good passing stats last year, 10th in points per game, 8th in yards, 12th in touchdowns. But, again, there's been a lot of rumors as far as the Gruden and Carr relationship. I think not a lot of people know how that relationship truly is. But it's inevitable. At some point, that relationship is going to come to an end. And there's not really a backup quarterback. I think they're shopping Mariota right now if he hasn't been traded already, and I just missed it. So I think Las Vegas is another good fit for Mac Jones. Of course, Washington, you saw they have the 19th pick. Now, again, I don't think they take they could possibly take a quarterback here. I don't think they will. I think they end up going possibly an offensive weapon because I think they're going to go after some quarterback hard in free agency so that they can build around him and then maybe take a quarterback next year because we saw what happened with their last quarterback. And then, of course, they parted ways with Alex Smith, the NFL Comeback Player of the Year. My last two teams I have here, my last two teams, later on in the draft, number 24 pick, Pittsburgh. They have Dwayne Haskins, who could possibly take Big Ben's spot. Big Ben's going to retire in the next 2 to 3 years. I think we all kind of know that. He's had that elbow injury or shoulder injury, and he played really well this past year. But, again, he's getting on up there. He's not going to be their franchise quarterback forever. You're going to have somebody in waiting. Is that Dwayne Haskins? Is that Mac Jones? Possibly. In my opinion, I think they take Najee here, but that'll be another video that I come out with probably tomorrow. But we'll see. And then finally, my last pick, who I would love to see Mac Jones with, the New Orleans Saints. Drew Brees. I hate to say that he's probably going to retire. I'd love to see he'll play at least one more year. I don't think Jameis is their guy. They said Taysom was the next Joe Montana, I think, or Steve Young. One of those guys is what Sean Payton said about Taysom Hill. I don't buy it. I think Taysom Hill is a great player. He's a Swiss Army knife. He's a good football player, and there's not a lot of those guys. There's not a lot of guys that you can stick in anywhere in your offense and have success. I just don't see him as a quarterback. I think you better off utilizing him elsewhere. Jameis, not a bad quarterback. I just don't know how he's going to play in this Sean Payton offense. I think Mac Jones is the guy who can go into this Sean Payton vertical style offense, throw it downfield, play action, give Kamara the ball, let him work. You have Michael Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders if you sign him again, Jared Cook maybe, and then you're all kinds of talent on defense if they're able to sign everybody back. I don't know how that cap room is going to work, but nonetheless, I think that will be all right. So tell me in the comments below where you would like to see Mac Jones fit. Tell me if you agree with me, disagree. Tell me why you think he's going to Arizona or maybe going to Tennessee, somewhere like that. Just tell me what you guys think in the video or comment section below. Be sure to hit that subscribe button for more NFL offseason content. And tell me which player you think I should do next in the NFL draft journey and where these guys will end up in April.